Hello, Deborah here, and the theme of today is when tech goes wrong. You will see tech to the left of us, to the middle, to the right. These are all MacBook Pros of various vintages, and everything has decided to go wonky at the same time. Not really good for people who live on as tight a budget as we do, and definitely not good for people who are trying to produce a YouTube channel where we have to do recording and transmit recordings back and forth. And good afternoon, and away we go. These are not the kind of things we feel comfortable discussing with people. Income, pensions, lack of pensions, how to support ourselves, how to keep going with a channel if things go wrong. And we're having a situation right now where everything is going wrong at the same time. You can normally plan for one computer to be out and, you send it off to the repair shop and so forth. Not everything at once. We are very, very frugal. The pictures that you just saw in the opening of the MacBook Pros, one of them is a 2012. Two of them are 2015s. They're a decade old and 13 years old, for heaven's sakes. So we have an ethical approach, we believe. We're not consumeristic. We don't need a new phone every year. We don't need a new computer every year. We're not 30-somethings that think that it's really groovy to have the latest thing in the, So here's the thing. It's like right now, the phone that I took that little section of clip with is a 2013. The one that Mark has is a 2007. We use things until they're dead. Well, we're having a situation now where everything has died or is in the process of dying. Those MacBook Pros, if they're dying, I don't know how we're going to afford to replace all of that stuff. And that's the truth. We buy from companies here in France that do reconditioning on them. They buy them from offices, from corporate entities. And they're not the latest by any stretch of the imagination, but what they do is they strip out the insides, they put a new drive on the inside, a new hard drive, all the new things, they replace the keys, whatever needs to be replaced is replaced. And then they sell it at what's considered a deep discount. So, for us to keep producing all of this, we have to have functioning MacBook Pros. We have to have functioning iPhones. Thank God. And I do mean that seriously. The camera that I'm using right now, we only bought less than a year ago, and it's doing fine. But how am I going to transfer the video that I take to a computer that isn't there? So we're trying to figure out how we're going to manage this. You'll notice that in the last two videos, the ones where Mark went up to the Côte d'Azur, d'Armor, the Côte d'Armor, and he showed you all around Urquy and Lamballe and the little market in, where was it? Gomenet. There are wonderful places up there to go and see. And no, it wasn't about bike packing. It was about showing you villages and towns in Brittany. So, if you haven't gone through those and looked at them, please do. The scenery is absolutely beautiful, and it gives you like a slow motion view of what does it look like to walk through or ride through a town like that. What are the amenities? Are there enough, restaurants and bars and hotels? And because it's at the sea, most of these places that he went were at the sea. And it's fun to look at, and you can get a view of what's available in Brittany. Now, all of these things are over an hour away from where we live, and it's a good thing for him to get away. He does need that. He really does. So I send him on with my blessing and say, go and have fun. Absolutely go and have fun. And this was a good time of year for him to do it because none of these towns were overwhelmed with tourists. It is the first week of June right now, and honestly, within a few weeks, it will just be awash. Brittany will be awash with tourism. Nothing wrong with that. It's really good for the businesses. It's good for the restaurants, the bars, the cafes, the boulangeries, and the gîtes and bed and breakfasts and hotels. We want everybody to succeed, okay? But we would like to succeed too. So in addition to, please, like, subscribe, put your little bell on for notification, share it with all your friends. You can help us out now with something else. I've put the Buy Me a Coffee thing on there. If it's in your heart to help us, it's absolutely wonderful. It really is. It will make a difference. Right now, I am not doing a Patreon for one reason. I'm very responsible about my obligations to people. And when I was an editor, I never took on anything more. When I was editing a book or editing a paper or writing a white paper for people, and then they presented it as their own at the United Nations or wherever else, I never took on more than I could accomplish and actually produce. I thought that was a socially responsible attitude. I'm doing that with the Patreon. I'm thinking it over. I'm not committed to Patreon, but Buy Me a Coffee, I don't have to produce things right now. If we signed up people on Patreon, we would feel obligated to, send out note cards and have extra private videos every month. And some of the people on Patreon have like a garden party once a year on the grounds of their chateau and all of this. We can't do that sort of thing. We're retired. We're on a really small income. We can't afford to do that. Plus, as it is, I have not mentioned this. I was going to do a specific video about it, and I might still. How do you maintain a balance between YouTube and your private life? Especially if you're older. Really, you only have so much energy every day. And, you can do something for about an hour, and then you just need to sit down and have a cup of tea. And that's changed everything in our lives. It's changed everything in our lives. For every episode that you could see that we post, it takes me on average, and that's not even including the time to film it, it takes on average, I would say 10 hours or more to edit it. And then there's the uploading, the checking it. Once I upload it, it doesn't mean it's there immediately and available. I have to check it. I have to make sure it's playing correctly. If there's any flaws in it, I have to go back, redo it, upload it again. There's so much drama. It takes a long time. This is my, let's just say 30-hour-a-week minimum. We're not getting paid for this. Nobody's paying us for doing this. So if we're asking for a little assistance, there's a reason for it. We now have over 350 followers. Just in the last week, we've gained over 20 new people. That's fabulous. But if we're ever going to get to 1,000 followers and 4,000 watch hours, and oh, by the way, we did get to 1,000 watch hours this past week, which is a milestone, and we're really happy about that. Thank you very much. And thank you for the new followers. So I'm just explaining, if we go missing for a while, it's not that we're being lazy or we don't care anymore. We may be having that many technical difficulties. We're trying to figure out how to work around this. Neither one of us have a phone that's strong enough to just record and upload straight to YouTube. I would never upload unedited footage. And here's the reason why. You see the YouTube gurus and they go, oh, just film and upload it. No, half the time things can be underexposed or overexposed depending on the lighting conditions. This is me with the television background. I want it to look its best. I want you to be able to hear the sound level correctly. I don't want to use an editing program in a tiny little phone. One of my girlfriends, bless her heart, she's lovely. She's a travel writer and she lives in Thailand. Hello, Barbara. And she said to me, oh, did you know that you can, do all that editing in a phone? And I went, no, I don't edit anything in a phone. I use a computer where I have a proper size keyboard and it's easy to use. So, tech issues. I'm not having a good weekend. This is not the Saturday that I had expected, is to come downstairs and realize that everything was going wonky all at the same time. We have not had a power surge in the house. It's nothing like that. This is just everything is dying, and it happens to be, unfortunately, all at the same time. The 2 MacBook Pros that we use the most are both a decade old now. So, anyway, there's that. I'm not sure what we're going to do next week. I'm not going to make any promises, all right? But this is an episode I hadn't planned to have. So this is going to go on so that it's ready for Sunday, I believe, or late Saturday night. And you'll have an extra one. So this week you will have 3. And I wish we could have one that was as happy as the one, we're just too boring, that did really well about 2 weeks ago. So thank you for that. We really appreciate all the people who found us through that. This is part of being retired. You can't just replace things the way you used to. And it's something we had not factored into retirement. We hadn't thought about, well, what do you do when something dies? I'm not being naive. We hadn't thought about it. What are we going to do when a camera dies? When a computer dies? When the phones die? We had not thought about that. Because we can't use, cheap little disposable things. They're not suitable for the quality of product that we would like to give you. We want to make sure that you can see the pictures accurately, that you can hear the voices accurately. I'm going to say goodbye for now. This is not a woe is me. This is just bringing it to your attention that there is a way to support us now. And at some points, we may put membership on there, but we are not going to put membership on there now. I feel like we have to be responsible. And because it all falls on me, I do all of it. I do every bit of the tech work. I do every bit of the editing. I do every bit of the YouTube uploading and all of that. I do all of that. Until I know that I have the ability to produce like little extra blogs, which is what everybody wants. They want you to, write a little story every month and give them to you. So we'll see. We'll see. Right now, it's strictly, really strictly a buy me a coffee, buy me 3 coffees, it's like €5 or $5, whatever it is. And you can buy it in increments, 1, 3, 5. Add up a whole bunch and, send us a big donation, whatever. Thank you in advance for any assistance that you can give us. We do appreciate it. Anyway, have a good weekend, what's left of it, and we'll see you next week, I hope, if the camera and the phone and the MacBook Pros don't completely die. Bye for now.